Yo, Michael Saylor has made nearly $7 billion in the first 6 days of October, as Bitcoin has ripped from 108K to 125K. We hit an all-time high on Saturday out of all days, just as a massive 1.66 trillion giant dropped a bombshell report where they're now recommending a 4% Bitcoin allocation. That's right. Everyone is following the crowd. I believe Vanguard even admitted that they're
dropping ETFs.
They're going to start allowing their clients. You know, Vanguard was holding it when BlackRock made the announcement. The Vanguard CEO with all this hubris was like, "No, that's too risky for our clients. We'll never do that." And then they just announced. I think their CEO actually resigned. And they just announced that.
And the new CEO is literally the guy that launched the BlackRock ETF.
I mean, come on, guys. If you want to know that we're winning, there you go. All of this is coming as Bitcoin is setting new all-time highs every single day. It looks as if Bitcoin is about to have an explosive. We don't know. We can't read the future, but it looks like it's going to have an explosive Q4, and most people are not prepared for what's about to come in the next 90 days. I mean, Opti and I were talking about this for the last couple of weeks. For the end of September was very dark for me and Opti. Me and Opti's friendship just became closer. You know, you become closer with your friends when you go to dark places together. And we're like, dude, is the cycle over? And then bam, bing, bam, boom. As soon as October 1st hit, we just ripped. They don't call it October for no reason. I don't know why we were doubting it. But anyways, let's get to some of the source material. Check out this post by Hunter Horsley. This is huge. I agree with Hunter. This is huge. New special report from Morgan Stanley GIC. Quote, "We aim to support our financial advisors and clients who may flexibly allocate to cryptocurrency as part of their multi-asset portfolios. GIC guides 16,000 advisors managing $2 trillion in savings and wealth for clients. We're entering the mainstream era." I was having a discussion with British Hodl this morning, and one of the things that resonated with me, and it's on my mind while I'm thinking about this, is he's talking about different pools of capital. As Bitcoin matures, becomes this maturing asset, and it starts to enter into traditional finance. That's what you're seeing with Vanguard. That's what you're seeing with Morgan Stanley. You have to understand that there's these pools of capital that normally would not be able to buy Bitcoin if they just wanted to buy spot Bitcoin. They just wouldn't be able to do it. That's what Michael Saylor is doing, developing all these types of products. It's specifically to target these different pools of capital. So if you're hearing $2 trillion in savings and wealth for clients, that's a pool of capital that before this announcement was not able to get exposure to Bitcoin directly. Their only way to get exposure was through MicroStrategy. Now they're basically saying, listen, if our clients want exposure to cryptocurrency, of course, being the biggest one being Bitcoin, now they can. That's massive, massive news. And of course, also, Saylor reports $3.9 billion in total Bitcoin fair value appreciation in Q3 of 2025. Once again, Saylor is setting the no one's going to catch up to this. No one's going to catch up to Michael Saylor. Like I'm calling it right now. No one's catching up to him. I think if you put all the Bitcoin treasury companies together and you add them up, I think it's like 15% of Michael Saylor's total stack. Talk about first mover advantage. And of course, Opti was pulling this up in the background. Bitcoin's quarterly returns. I want to focus on Q4. 9.73% so far. We're only 6 days into Q4 of 2025, and we're already higher than we were of Q3 2025.
We doubled.
Q3 basically. Of 2025 was quite depressing. I'm not going to lie. It was not a good time.
Wait, Nico, before you go on, the reason I wanted to bring this up, guys, is Saylor's math here. He basically said, all right, we profited $4 billion in Q3. Look at these returns. It's 6.31% for all of Q3. Again, 3 months out of the year, he made $4 billion. In the last 6 days, I think, I don't know, what's the math? It's probably close to like $7 billion on this pump right here. Why do you think that Wall Street is looking at Bitcoin now, seeing what Saylor's doing? They're looking at his gains and they're like, oh my gosh, we were basically trolling him and calling him an idiot and getting him sued and running him through the media, just the mud here. And now in literally 6 days, or what, maybe you, if you want to go further, 3 months and 6 days, he's up what is that, about $11 billion. Like, you can't ignore these gains anymore, and this is starting to spread out. That's like, I think, the main point to look at what's happened Q3, the total quarter, and then what's happened in the last 6 days. I think this is probably why we're starting to see these pivots happen so fast, is they're looking at the price starting to run again, and they're thinking, oh wait, it's not going to die. Oh wait, it's not going to 12K or 80K, etc. This might actually run. We have to get in front of this narrative and start to tell people, yeah, you should probably be buying some Bitcoin. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, Nico, continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So this last report is by Bitcoin Census, the Diary of the New Economy. Morgan Stanley just validated crypto investors. Bam, bing, bam, boom. When a giant like Morgan Stanley speaks, the market listens, and this time it's about crypto. The bank's Global Investment Committee just added clear guidance for crypto exposure inside multi-asset portfolios. It's not a full-blown embrace, but it's definitely a green light. According to their October report, quote, opportunistic growth portfolios, the ones built for higher risk and return, can now include up to 4% in cryptocurrencies. Quote, balanced growth portfolios, more moderate in nature, are capped at 2%. Anything focused on wealth preservation, still 0%, which makes sense.
It actually makes no sense.
What's interesting isn't just the numbers, it's who this message reaches. 16,000 financial advisors managing $2 trillion in client assets. That's a tidal wave of potential capital slowly pivoting towards the digital asset space. Morgan Stanley is basically acknowledging what we've seen for a while. Crypto is volatile, yes, but it's no longer ignorable. That's the key sentence out of this entire article. It's maturing, integrating, and reshaping what diversification looks like in 2025. I don't like that word diversification. Me and Opti are all-in-fication, not financial advice.
Regardification.
To me, this feels like a line in the sand moment. The traditional finance world is finally learning how to coexist with crypto instead of pretending it doesn't exist. It's cautious approach, but it's adoption nonetheless. And that's how every major revolution begins. Now, again, if you put that together with the Vanguard news, and you put that together with the fact that, listen, Morgan Stanley, if Morgan Stanley is successful rolling this out, the other traditional wealth management banks are not going to have a choice but to follow suit. Remember, we called this for you guys. When PayPal initially offered withdrawals, I said, PayPal is not going to want to do that by themselves. They're not going to want to offer withdraws or your ability to take self-custody if you left them to their own devices. I said, they're not going to do it. But I also said, because Cash App lets you do that, and because Cash App is a direct competitor to PayPal, market forces are going to force PayPal to inevitably offer withdrawals. When PayPal announced that they offer Bitcoin withdrawals, you know who followed suit? Very, very shortly after, it was Robinhood. So again, if you connect the dots, it's very obvious where this is going. Clients at Morgan Stanley are probably saying, hey, WTF, why don't you guys offer Bitcoin? I get that you're all conservative and stuff in your outlook and your approach, but my gains, bro. And they folded. The same thing happened with Vanguard. Vanguard is, I think, the second largest asset manager in the world. And I vividly remember, and I said it half jokingly, but I said, by the way, I think there's going to be consequences for them not allowing their clients to be able to buy into ETFs. And there was consequences. The Vanguard CEO resigned. And just recently, Opti, if you could pull that up, I want to show it. I want to show it off to everybody.
What am I pulling up?
The Vanguard news. Just recently, they announced, "Hey guys, listen, we're potentially looking into, if my memory serves me to correctly, and if Bitcoin Twitter, yeah, there you go, boom, just like that. Like, we're winning, bro. This is fantastic. This is so cool." There you go. Vanguard to offer third-party Bitcoin ETFs to investors. So they go from, holding the line, we're traditional finance, we can't offer these types of products to our investors because, they're risky and we can't do this, to, oh, of course you can buy any type of ETFs using the Vanguard platform. Of course you could do that. Like, this is the power of Bitcoin. This is the power of incentives. The last thing I'll say is we are going to win this because of game theory and incentives. We're not going to win this because of coercion, and we're not going to win this because of regulatory favorability. We're going to win this because Bitcoin is the best money the world has ever seen, period. If you let Bitcoin do its thing and you put Bitcoin head to head with fiat currencies or even the stock market, Bitcoin is going to win in terms of returns. That's why governments are warming up to it. That's why BlackRock is warming up to it. That's why the president has the 6th largest treasury company in the world. Do you think they've all changed their minds and they found Satoshi and they're tuning into Simply Bitcoin? They're saying, you know what? These guys are right. They're pissed off. The money's broken. 2008 was a scam. We got to make it good for them. And we got to fix the money, fix the world, bro. Hell no. None of them are thinking that. Larry Fink is thinking, how do I get very rich? How do I make a lot of money? And they see Bitcoin as the vehicle to do that. And that aligns incentives with all the Bitcoin holders. And all of a sudden, Max Kaiser saying, listen, Larry Fink is the Bitcoin employee of the month. It's true. That's the power of alignment of incentives. You have Michael Saylor selling Bitcoin, like not actually selling Bitcoin, but he's making the sales pitch to the world as to why Bitcoin is important. You have Larry Fink doing the same thing. You have President Trump. I don't think he said it at the Bitcoin conference. Never sell your Bitcoin. So, I'm just saying all that stuff happened this year, basically, and Bitcoin hasn't really pumped. So I don't know. It's looking favorable, in my opinion.
Yeah, and before I really kind of cover all of this stuff, Nico said something about the price, and I've been kind of saying that recently a lot. I know a lot of Bitcoiners like to say the price doesn't matter. And while I do agree to some extent, there's a lot of things about Bitcoin that I do like and I do talk about and stress outside of just the price. But the price of Bitcoin, in my opinion, is probably the strongest indicator of where Bitcoin is going. And for better or worse, guys, if Bitcoin doesn't rip, then this whole thing failed. And now that we're seeing the life come back into the price, this is showing everyone else. This is a signal to everyone that is a market participant in every market right now that they have to pay attention to what is going on over here. And so seeing a spectacular Q4 and seeing Bitcoin start to rip again, it's basically showing to everyone that has ever said anything negative about Bitcoin that, hey, they might have been wrong about this. And you're starting to see that happen very quickly. Obviously, we saw this happen throughout the whole year. And now entering Q4, probably when everyone comes back from vacation, they're now like, okay, I need to get into this. We need to make moves into this. We've waited long enough. And there has been a lot of conversations on Twitter and even on this show and people on YouTube, whether the price has been manipulated or rather suppressed down so that people can kind of get their position in Bitcoin. And to be honest, it does feel like that was the case. We have to remember Bitcoin is a tiny, tiny asset in global market, 2 trillion right now compared to $1,000 trillion. It's very easy for them to kind of suppress the price at the current moment. But after a certain point, they won't be able to do it again. Like, yes, they could, do some market financiering here. Wait, financialization of finance. Yeah, I tried to create a word there. Finance and engineering.
We're at 125, 260.
Let's go. All-time high. Here we go. You are starting to see that at a certain point, they can't play the same games that they're used to playing, and they can still, do some of these games like they could do to a big corporate stock, but after a certain size, they have to jump in. So that's just like the general, price kind of conversation. I do want to hit on this report here a little bit because it is pretty funny. Here is the tweet that Nico pulled up, and actually, let me change this a little bit so you guys can see this. And here is like what they are recommending, which is, I think it's, from my perspective, a little hilarious. Obviously, here's the conclusion: taking a conservative approach to cryptocurrency allocations, based on their research and et cetera, given its limited history, we have prepared a series of forward-looking simulations to stress test standalone and portfolio allocations of crypto. They're really talking about Bitcoin here. But here's like the funny part, at least to me. And it goes, GIC recommendations for maximum cryptocurrency allocations in multi-asset portfolios. It has a description up on the top and then the risk profile. So the first risk profile is one of wealth conservation is 0%. I think, as from a Bitcoiner's perspective, we are conserving our wealth by saving in Bitcoin. That's literally what we're doing. So you can tell they haven't fully grokked what we are doing over here. They're working on it. But I when I first saw this, I'm like, dude, this is all we're doing here is conserving our wealth. We're storing our wealth here because you can't put it in anything else. So I find it that their wealth conservation kind of risk profile is 0% Bitcoin, where we're like, we're like 100% plus. Like everything we can put into Bitcoin, that's how we conserve our wealth. Anyways, the next description and the risk profile is 2 of income. It's still 0%. Now, their third risk profile is the balanced growth perspective, and it's 2%. And then a risk profile 4, market growth at 3%. And then their opportunistic growth, which is their most risky profile at 5, is 4%. I think we still have a long way to go before they go full bull-tard on us. But it's just funny how these numbers work for them. They're like, 0%, conserve your wealth. Don't put it in Bitcoin. But if you want to get a little risky, let's just say a 4% portfolio allocation. And you're just like, oh man, dude, this is going to get so crazy once they actually go full bull-tard and start recommending like the percentages we've heard from the Ray Dalios of the world, or even BlackRock in the early days, the 40 to 80% allocation here. And I think I saw a stat the other day that it said something like, when we see a 1% allocation from all of these asset managers, we are highly underestimating how high this thing can rip. We really don't know what that looks like when they really go all in on this. And I was thinking about this over the weekend, and it really brought me back to the conversation we've been having on the show all year long. This idea that, now that Wall Street is here, now that the institutions are here, is Bitcoin losing that ethos of separating money and state? Like, have we sold out essentially to Wall Street? And you could argue that's, you could argue that. I think that's a fair argument. But when you really think about it, it's actually benefiting the layman, the everyday man, the Bitcoiner, because now that the institutions are here and they're scrambling for a position, those of us that have been holding Bitcoin for 5-10 years plus, we get the gains here. So while they're scrambling for a Bitcoin position, all we have to do is just sit back, relax, and let that capital flow into Bitcoin, and our wealth goes up in the process. So I don't think that we as Bitcoiners have sold out to Wall Street. In fact, I think this is the only time in history that the average person can see this huge monetary shift happening and profit from it. And it's so beautiful to see. Nico talks about aligned incentives all the time on the show, and this is what we're seeing happen in real time. As much as you may or may not like Saylor, seeing what he's done in the last 6 days, or you could even argue in the last 3 months and 6 days, is absolutely insane. Making $7 billion in 6 days off a 10% gain. Like, this is going to get so crazy. And actually, I saw another metric this morning. Strategy has officially jumped over Coinbase as, I think it was 104th largest corporate treasury right now. So look, Sailor and Strategy is becoming what Coinbase could have been in real time. And I think the marketing and kind of the evangelization that we've seen Sailor do to Bitcoin for the corporations and the institutions, like, it is finally paying off. So whether you like it or not, whether you're a fan or not, I'm personally, I want to see the average everyday people buying Bitcoin. I don't think our thesis has been broken yet. I think this is only going to get even crazier, and the feedback loop is going to be even nuttier than we've ever seen before in the past. And I'm starting to, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm starting to get extremely bullish here. And I don't want to say it, but I think diminishing returns might be over, Nico. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, I mean, bro, that is that's an oomph. That's a big statement from Opti.
I don't believe in diminishing returns.
Opti does not believe in diminishing returns. You know, I was talking to British Hodl this morning.
I disagree.
We're gonna drop that episode on Saturday.
I didn't even hear the conversation, and I disagree.
And he was basically making the case like, look, Nico, like, Bitcoin's getting older, you know, it's established now. Like, the days of these dopamine hits are long gone. And Opti clearly is in complete denial.
I am totally in denial. Denial is not just a river. Opti is in denial. It just makes no sense to me. Like, my basic, 42 IQ left side of the bell curve take is we've barely seen the adoption of Bitcoin. I think globally, if you're being very optimistic about the adoption rates of Bitcoin, you could say it's like 3%. And you're telling me that if 97% of the rest of the population gets in Bitcoin, we're going to see diminishing return. It just makes no sense to me. But I get this idea of getting bored to death, and we're just going to see a 30% CAGR and all that stuff. And it just makes no sense to me. Once we see the multitudes of capital come into it, and once that starts ripping and we do finally get retail to come back in, I know retail is broke right now and most people have no money. But it just makes no sense to me that we are going to see diminishing returns. When 97% of the world is not on Bitcoin, you're telling me it's only going to go up 30% a year? Like, come on.
Bro, it's over.
Dude, you guys are bears. I don't like bears.
Did you not get the call, bro? It's over.
I literally did not get the call.
You got the call at the end of September. You just chose not to answer the call.
Dude, that's what I do. I don't respond to texts, and I don't pick up calls.
Opti did not pick up the call, but they left the voicemail.
I don't listen to those either.
Shout out to the Primal chat. 27 zaps so far. 35,000 sats. Appreciate all the sats and support from our friends over at Primal. We're streaming to Nostr. We're streaming to Rumble. We're streaming to YouTube. We're streaming to X. If you guys are enjoying the show so far, make sure to smash that like button. Share the live stream. Really, really helps with the algos. Already 524 people watching live on YouTube alone. So anyways, guys, the TLDR before we move on to the next section is this. Breaking news. Morgan Stanley is going to be allowing, not completely full-blown.
No, Vanguard.
No, Morgan Stanley, bro. That was the news.
They're getting bullish and saying 4% adoption. Or 4%
Morgan
allocation.
Stanley is going to allow some of their clients to get exposure. That's what it said.
Okay. Whatever.
I'm going to read the headline.
Yeah, read it again.
Let's read the headline. Morgan Stanley just validated what?
I think you're mixing them up. Go.
According to their October report, opportunistic portfolios, the ones built for higher risk and return, can now include up to 4% in cryptocurrencies.
I guess
what's interesting isn't just the numbers, it's who this message reaches. 16,000 financial advisors managing $2 trillion in client assets. That's the TLDR of today's intro. I was going to curse. Huge for the reasons as I explained earlier. And again, Vanguard as well. Opti got hyped about Vanguard, basically saying, you know what?
Such a huge fan of Vanguard.
You know what? I got it wrong. I got it wrong. We're going to walk it back. We are going to offer this to our clients. We are at an all-time high, $125,526. That is an all-time high for Bitcoin, and we're doing it live, which is
we get all-time highs every minute now.
Fantastic. I love this. I forgot this feeling. This used to be like a very common feeling around here. And we forgot it.
Totally.
Anyways, you should always pride yourself at buying the top. I've been buying the top for ever since
forever. I will buy the top forever.
I've been buying the Bitcoin top since 2016. Been buying the top. Thought I was late. Bought the top at 20K in 2017. Bought the top at 2021 at 69K. Buying the top right now at 125K, $500. I'm going to buy the top right after the show. But anyways, guys, go to the best place to build your automatic self-custody Bitcoin stack. Make an account today. This is where you want to buy the top if you're going to buy the top. Bitcoinwell.com/simply to get started. Scan the QR code or go to the URL, bitcoinwell.com/simply. Why do we recommend Bitcoin Well? Because it is the best place to build your automatic self-custody Bitcoin stack. When you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, it goes straight to your self-custody. You can't leave it on the exchange, which is perfect for Simply Bitcoin. Also, if you're a higher net worth individual looking to buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin or more, check out bitcoinwell.com/OTC. Check out, this is designed for family offices, high net worth individuals, trusts, and organizations. Again, go to bitcoinwell.com/OTC today to get started. All right, everybody, let's get into the numbers. We have tons to talk about. We're going to be right back in just a bit. I want to give a shout out to our partner, Stampseed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed phrases really secure? Stampseed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need for you to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates. Instead of just writing them down on paper, paper is fragile. Titanium plates are strong. Your words are actually stamped into the titanium plate with this hammer and these letter stamping tools. Once the words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. And now you can customize your titanium seed plates. You can upload your design or logo and they will laser engrave it on the back of your seed plate, the opposite side of where the words are. Stamp your seed on Stampseed and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the stampseed.com store. Ladies and gentlemen, we had blast off. It is now dumping.
1 minute chart is great. I love 1 minute chart.
Anyways, go to stampseed.com today. They just released their 12-word seed plate, by the way. Look at how compact it is, pure titanium. Go to stampseed.com, use promo code SIMPLY. You get 15% off anything on the store. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $125,540. I think that's the highest I've ever read. Block height, 917,928. Sats per dollar, 797. Market cap,
that's crazy.
2.5 trillion. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 8.92%. Decline from all-time high, negative 0.2%. Realized monetary inflation, 0.85%. What happens when it's an all-time high? Does it say like plus? It just says 0, I guess.
I think it just says 0.
Anyways, I have a very interesting video for you guys. I have Charlie Lee, the inventor of Litecoin, saying the quiet part aloud. He says he would have made more money if he would have just bought Bitcoin instead of trying to launch his own altcoin. There is no second best. I just want to put a clarification here to say that Litecoin responded, the official Litecoin account. It's interesting. Is there an official Bitcoin account? Like who runs?
Well, there is, but it's
not official.
No, it's not official.
It's not official. Like that'd be kind of weird.
Just Satoshi tweeting on Twitter.
Like, can you imagine? That'd be crazy. I've heard about the knots and core debate. Just puts up a poll. Oh man, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of strange.
The official Bitcoin account definitely runs core.
Litecoin officially responds to Charlie Lee, and he says, anyone who reads this or any other post referring to this video, watch the entire video, especially the time before and after this 40 seconds. Then you'll see how news gets twisted to fit a narrative. You're welcome.
Yeah, do they not know how propaganda works? Jeez.
Anyways, and people didn't react to it so well. So
dude,
anyways,
imagine being a Litecoin shitcoin holder, bag holder right now.
Hey, listen, bro. You can hold whatever you want, but we recommend Bitcoin.
Hey,
Obviously.
do what you want with your money, but
simply.
you're probably very down bad right now.
So let's check out Charlie Lee's clip with the context of apparently this is not the full clip.
My advice for myself would just to be, I think this will be surprising to a lot of people, but which is to be buy Bitcoin, store it away, don't sell anything, and don't do anything else related to crypto, and just sit on it and be anonymous. That would be my advice.
So don't follow in your footsteps.
Correct. Like,
I mean,
creating Litecoin did not really make me more money. It was a lot of headache. Yeah, it was. Yeah, just if you just buy Bitcoin, keep it away, stay anonymous, sit on it, don't sell anything, it would be better off.
I mean,
bars.
Like to be fair, like I don't know what missing context.
Yeah, what's the missing context?
Like he like that was
regret.
That was an all-encompassing message.
He's like, I shouldn't have made that shit coin. I should have never bought it. It sucked. It took my mental health away from me, and I'm poor.
I don't have the chicken. I moved. I don't have.
Now
the
it
chicken
died.
anymore.
It died on us. It stopped clucking, guys.
It broke. It broke.
Sure. Yeah.
We don't actually have a chicken. It's a rubber chicken. No animals were hurt. Opti.
No animals were hurt.
It was a rubber chicken, bro. A rubber chicken.
Anyway. It unalived itself.
I don't. It wasn't a lot. Anyways, it wasn't. Anyways,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work
chicken.
anymore. The rubber chicken doesn't work anymore.
We're gonna bring
guys.
back the rubber chicken.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No. Dude, it does. It's anticlimactic. It makes like a really bad sound. It's not cool.
Anyways,
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, look. I get the context set up by the person who runs the Litecoin account. But like that was an all-encompassing message. Like there was regret. There was, if I could go back and do it all over again, like it was very clear. Like, how do you did he have like multiple responses? Like, was she like, okay, but what would you do if you had like another choice? And then that's how he answered it.
What would you do if you created a second Litecoin?
But it sounded painful. Like he was like, yeah, it just didn't make me a lot of money and I just wasn't a big fan.
No, honestly, that's probably the biggest tell here, that all shitcoiners just create a shitcoin to make money here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
listen to them when they tell you the truth.
Altcoin, you can do whatever you want with your money, but obviously we recommend Bitcoin. I mean, that was a very I could tell it was from the heart, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's probably the best advice you could give anyone. That's what we do all the time. You know, I was joking over the weekend that I'm still low-key kind of mad at Nico for me still not being anonymous. I wish I just, sometimes I wish I just didn't do anything and I just stacked Bitcoin and continued tweeting and no one knew who I was. That is the best advice that you could give anyone. And the reason it's the best advice is because it's tried and true. It is the best thing to do. The hardest thing to be doing is sitting on your hands. It's very easy for you to come into the space, you know, get caught up in the whole Bitcoin/crypto craze. You go all in on Bitcoin. Next thing you know, you're out there all in on these shit coins and you get absolutely wrecked. This is why we constantly tell people Bitcoin only, take your Bitcoin into cold storage. And if you're smart, you don't tell anyone that you buy Bitcoin and you live your life. That's literally the best way to be doing things. So as we always say, one of the best ways to become a Bitcoin maxi is by putting your hand on the stove and becoming a shitcoiner. And we got it from the word, you know, the horse's mouth here. He wishes he didn't do anything in shitcoins. It's guys, when they tell you the truth, just listen to them.
You're going hard in the paint, bro.
Dude, we haven't talked about shitcoiners on this show in a while.
Dude,
Kind of fitting.
I mean, you know, we're trying to be inclusive, bro.
You're trying to be inclusive. Just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean,
This is financial advice. No, it's not financial advice.
I mean, it is simply Bitcoin for a reason, right?
Yeah, we're not inclusive to shitcoin.
I mean, look,
you can do what you want with
you
your
can
money,
do whatever you
but
want.
we don't endorse any of
You
that.
do whatever you want, but we recommend Bitcoin only. This has been tried and tested so many times. Altcoins were invented to take your Bitcoin. Like that again, but that's our opinion. Not trying to make anyone feel bad.
Dude, I don't know if I could say it, but you know how I feel about bullying.
Not trying to make anyone feel bad, but yeah, altcoins they're oscillators at best, but they all lose value towards Bitcoin over time. Like, don't take my word for it. Like, this isn't an opinion. Like, don't trust me. Verify it yourself. Look at BTC versus Ethereum. Look at BTC versus ETH. I mean, look at BTC versus XRP. It's all a downward trend towards Bitcoin. So my advice is buy Bitcoin if you want to end up with more Bitcoin. And then if you do want to get kind of risky because you want to get more, just understand that there's a probability that you're going to lose. You're going to end up with less Bitcoin than before, right? And I've heard that story so many times throughout my time in the space, right? So anyways, guys, it's going to be a fantastic show. Let's get to the news segment. We have a lot to cover today. We're going to be right back in just a bit.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Ledin, the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans. Unlock the liquidity in your Bitcoin without having to sell your Bitcoin. They've issued $9 billion in loans to over 10,000 customers since 2018. I absolutely love these guys. Not only do I have an account with them, but I also have a loan. And what I love about them is that there are no monthly payments, and you could pay back the loan at any time. As soon as you send your Bitcoin as collateral, you'll have cash in your account within 24 hours. Over 1,000 five-star customer reviews, and they've never lost a single dollar or sat of customer money. Go to learn.ledin.io/simply today, and you'll get 0.25% off your first loan. I want to give a shout out to our partner, sat123.com. Sovereignty isn't just about your money. It's about your communications too. When the grid goes down, most people go dark. Cell towers fail in hurricanes, cyber attacks, and blackouts. But satellite phones? They don't rely on local infrastructure. Iridium has 77 satellites in orbit, giving you a direct line anywhere in the US, even offshore. If you hold your own Bitcoin keys, you should hold your own comms too. Sat123.com also has everything you need to start building your Bitcoin citadel. Starlink, battery backups, Faraday bags to protect your hardware wallets, and much, much more. It's a one-stop shop for anyone serious about resilience and off-grid independence. Stay connected, stay independent, stay sovereign. Go to sat123.com/simply today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the store.
All right, everybody, we are hitting all-time highs, $125,623. It's never been a more important time to take self-custody of your Bitcoin, and that's why we want to give a very special shout-out to our partner, BitKey. This is by far the easiest Bitcoin hardware wallet to use on planet Earth. It is built for human beings. It connects with your phone. There's a key that's on your phone. There's a key that's on the hardware wallet, and there's a key that's on the BitKey server. So if you want to give a hardware wallet to your friends and family, or your grandparents, or your parents that perhaps are not Bitcoin savvy or tech savvy, this is the perfect gift for them. Again, you do a single tap on your phone and you're ready to spend. And again, you're taking your Bitcoin into cold storage. So go to bitkey.world today and use promo code SIMPLY. You get 20% off the BitKey wallet. Again, this is incredibly intuitive, easy to use, just a tap, a fingerprint, boom, you're ready to send your Bitcoin, and it's protected by multi-sig. So highly recommend it. Very intuitive wallet to use. And Someone asked a question. Doesn't one of the companies hold a key? Yes, they do, but it's a 2 of 3.
No, that's a totally different company.
Oh, okay. But I think they're referring to that. But anyway, so it's a 2 of 3 wallet. But it's intuitive and it's baked in. So, and baked in inheritance planning as well. So go to bitkey.world today and use promo code simply. You get 20% off anything on the store. Again, highly recommend this for your friends and family, especially the ones that are just getting into Bitcoin. You want to get them on cold storage at the end of the day. Anyways, so I do want to talk about the elephant in the room. We are hitting an all-time high. So let's read about the editor's pick. Bitcoin price hits an all-time high. But here's what really matters. What really matters is Bitcoin's hitting an all-time high. That's what matters, bro. $125,763. It feels fantastic to say that. Coming up on 126K. But I mean, Opti, these all-time highs don't hit like they used to hit, bro. When we used to have all-time highs, it would be like a 20% like face ripping. It would feel fantastic, bro.
Just wait. There's still time.
Like these are like 120, 25, 500, and then back to 123, consolidate for 2 or 3 days, and then bam, bing, bam, boom. Senor Gringo Papi says, Birria Taco. I agree.
I literally told Sophie to get us some of them today.
They're absolutely delicious. I endorse that message. But yeah, man, I mean, how does it feel, Opti? We've been in the trenches for this entire year with you guys watching us, you guys supporting us. We wouldn't be on air without you guys. And yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a ride this year, bro. Senator Lummis interview, Samson Mao interview. Yeah, I mean, so many things this year that have happened, bro, and just the ups and downs of just the Bitcoin cycle. This year has not been that great. It has not been that great. I mean, we started the year at Trump's inauguration date. It was 109K. You know, basically 9 months later, it's only at 125K, 125K 800. But dude, I mean, it doesn't feel like it got that pump. But as Opti's saying, he's like, Nico, shut the F up. It's coming.
Dude, lower your time preference.
October is just started. What do you mean lower my time preference? I just waited 9 months.
Dude, what's another 2 months?
3 months.
Well, I'm not so sure about December pumpage. I think this month and next month is going to be the crazy gains.
That's it. It's over after that.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, let me refresh here. I'm pretty sure, historically speaking, October and November are the best return months, and then December is not bad. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah. So look, this is just what I'm basing it off of. Of course, this has become our favorite website recently because we're all just hoping that Q4 pumps. Oh wait, let me pull this one off so you guys can see this, and I'll pull this up. So historically, October gives us an average of 21% gains, median increase of 14, almost 15%. November is average 46% returns with a median return of 10%. And then December is an average 4% return, almost 5% return with a median negative 3.22% return. So
look at 2017.
I get that. I'm just saying
2021.
I get that. I'm just saying, I think most of the returns we're going to see are probably going to be November, but I'm so cool with it being like 2020 and 2017. That sounds great to me, but still, I think November is probably going to be a really good month, and I'm still a little unsure of what's going to happen in December. That's all I'm saying. Are we going to get incredible gains?
You think the cycles are over? You think they're done?
I don't think they are, to be honest. I really want to believe they are over because you guys know we've been talking about this on the show for a while. If the cycle does break, then that means we're going to have a lot easier time for 2026 as a Bitcoin business, which I'm totally cool with. I'm totally cool with not seeing another 80% drawdown. The last one, when I went all in with you here at Simply Bitcoin, that was rough for me, okay? That was a rough bear market, all right? I still have PTSD from it, and I would be okay with not having a huge bear market next year. I would be okay with a boring next year where we see only like 20-30% kind of drawdown, and then we go consolidate sideways, and then we kind of increase at some point. I would be over the moon seeing that. Am I willing to trade that out for no more pumps? Like, obviously not. I don't think that's a fair. I think I'll take the drawdowns if it means we get crazy 10x returns again. But from a business perspective, from a psychological, maybe from a, more of a checkmatey view of this, where we are maturing, we are growing up now, and volatility and being all in and living your life off of it, I would like to see that kind of flatten out again, or flatten out a little. That like just makes me feel better. But if we see a blow off top and we do what people are saying, we got a 400K this year, like I'll take a little return back down here again, just to get the dopamine firing again, Nico. Like, that sounds fun. But just like since we're doing a kind of pat ourselves on the back here, we're we're self-congratulatory here. It has been a pretty brutal 9 months. Like, you guys have watched us the whole year. The very beginning, we're like, okay, this is going to go well. And then it didn't do it. And we were in disbelief about what the price was going to do. And then the last 3 months, we've been in this like hopeful, and you guys have told us about this with our shows. Like, it's going to pump next week. Like, it's pumping, it's here. And everyone's like, dude, Opti, you were saying that like a month ago. Like, where is the pump? I was hopeful, dude. I thought it was coming. Now this does feel
never came.
Yeah, this does feel like optimism. Like, this does feel like this rally is real. And we don't know where it's going to go, obviously. But hey, if we do 25-30% gain this month, that's 135 or something like that, right? Like, I'll take that for the end of the month. 150 by end of month, like, I'm all for that. And then we see another 50% gain. That gives us in the 200K range. I think if we end 200K, but at this point, after all we've seen this year, I will be happy. Maybe I'm trying to lower my expectations so I'm not disappointed. Obviously, all Bitcoin's going to continue to go up. All price gains are
126. We top.
No, dude, you're tripping. We haven't even touched it. Dude. Nico's a bear. Even when we're pumping, Nico's a bear. This is crazy, dude. You have the worst PTSD ever. Like, all right. Am I going to chart boy? Do you guys want me to? One's in the chat if I should chart boy right now. One's in the chat.
I think we should save the chart boy for culture, guys.
No. I got some stuff talking about gold and all this stuff.
All right, then pull it up. Pull it up.
Yeah. All right. One's. I don't even care if you're dropping one. I'm going to chart boy a little bit. Okay. Where's my chart? All right, here we go. Chart boying. Buy a new chicken. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. Dude, the chicken's whack. You guys are tripping. Dude.
I told you the chicken is a classic.
Chicken's
bro.
whack.
The chicken is a classic.
No,
bro.
chicken's whack. Here, actually, let me make it smaller here for a second, so you guys could see this. Wow, look how small that is. All right,
bro. All these zaps on Nostr, bro.
Nico is saying,
"Love you guys."
126 is top. We literally just broke out of all-time high. Secured that all-time high support line, and you think 126 is all we're going to get right now? It just no, that's not what's happening. Look at this nice green candle here. Yesterday's candle broke above what was resistance to support. Now we got to close above that all-time high line, and now we're pumping, and you think we're 126 top? Like, come on, dude. Nico needs to learn how to chart, boy.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Anyways, guys.
Oh, they wanted the chart boy. Let's go.
Barry Nico, bring on Sophie. Yeah, Sophie's
Blair alert.
Sophie's got to make a return appearance. Anyways, guys, we're going to be right back in just a bit. We're going to hit the culture.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, HIVE Digital Technology. Why HIVE in 2025? Unstoppable growth. As the first ever public miner, HIVE's position to quadruple their global footprint, making them one of the world's fastest growing miners in 2025. And with elite operations that consistently top the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash, HIVE's now headquartered in the USA. They're lean and mean, they're green and clean, and they're rewriting the playbook on sustainable Bitcoin mining. You can catch the latest buzz at HIVE Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com. I want to give a shout out to our partner, bitcoinben.io. If you're into freedom, Bitcoin, and building a real community, this is for you. Gain exclusive access to real-world, members-only, private clubs across the globe, featuring poker nights, expert-led classes, co-working spaces, educational meetups, live events, and more. Current locations include Sarasota, Nashville, Boston, Dallas, Las Vegas, and St. Louis, with new clubs launching soon in West Palm Beach, Scottsdale, Alabama, and beyond. Not to mention Bitcoin Ben's resorts in El Salvador. There's 3 of them, and they're absolutely beautiful. You'll also get access to the first fully backed Bitcoin bank with fiat ramps and savings accounts. It's called Private Key Bank, and you guessed it, it's based out of El Salvador. Go peer-to-peer with Bitcoin bulk buys, tap into home equity for long-term Bitcoin growth, and join their exclusive mining pools if you're interested in mining. What are you waiting for? Head over to bitcoinben.io, join today, where Bitcoin meets freedom.
All right, guys. All right. So you guys know, I've been watching very closely what's going on with gold. I don't hold gold. My dad is a gold bug. I'm a Bitcoiner. But what we're seeing happen in the gold markets, and I've been covering this for the last, months now, it's very impressive what's going on with gold, but it's really telling us a lot more of what's going on in the system, and really a lot more of what's going on in the psychology of investors right now. And it's finally catching on, guys. It's finally catching on. The signal is finally going global. Everyone is talking about this, at least in the trader circles. I wouldn't say everyone, because mom and pop on the street aren't talking about it yet, but they will soon. And what am I talking about? They are now even framing this in a new, a new meme. They're calling it a debasement trade, which JP Morgan came out and said this, I believe it was Thursday or Friday of last week. I was actually going to cover it when I was covering JP Morgan last week, but I just completely forgot to add it to my show notes. It was supposed to be a part of that segment. I just completely blanked. Anyways, JP Morgan, gold and Bitcoin surge as debasement trade gains momentum. Again, on Yahoo, fiscal fears fuel flight to Bitcoin, gold as major currencies falter. The so-called, quote, debasement trade has gained traction amid rising national debts and political instability, prompting a broad retreat from fiat assets. And the main signal here is, of course, gold. I don't know if you guys saw this morning, but it's almost at $4,000 per ounce, which is just, it's nuts. It's ripping right now, which I think is telling us a lot about what the psychology of investors are right now. Again, to kind of break this down with the debasement trade is what Bitcoiners have been talking about for a long time. Everyone knows right now you cannot hold fiat currencies, which starts to trickle into no one wants to hold treasuries. This is why we're seeing gold start ripping. You're even seeing silver rip, which is kind of hilarious. And of course, Bitcoin is ripping as well now. What you're seeing is people do not want to hold fiat currencies or treasuries, and they're going into, the safe haven assets, which historically has been gold. But for us, it is Bitcoin. And I saw this as well over the weekend, which is absolutely nuts. Gold, I think now is up about 50%, and Bitcoin's up about like 35-40% as of today. I didn't check it live on the show, but they're the 2 top performing major assets so far in 2025. And we've never seen gold and Bitcoin be in the number 1 and number 2 spots for any calendar year since Bitcoin existence. This should be telling you what is going on right now. A lot of people do not want to hold the dollars. There is a very real concern right now about fiat debasement, fiat currencies failing. Whether that's going to happen anytime soon is probably a totally different conversation, but you're seeing people are investing in gold. And of course, now we will see probably in Q4, they will also invest in Bitcoin. And of course, these headlines are everywhere. Here's Market Watch. How one of 2025's most popular trades is boosting gold and Bitcoin and may keep going during the government shutdown. We saw in the last 6 days, Bitcoin's up 10%. In all of Q3, it was up about 6%. This is catching on. They're starting to wake up to what Bitcoiners have been saying for a long time, the quote, debasement trade. And what's funny is a lot of people are looking at S&P 500 from the TradFi, and they're like, man, dude, we're killing it. We're up 40% in the last 6 months. You know, the gold bugs are like, gold is nearing $4,000 per ounce, and Bitcoin is now a $2.5 trillion market cap. And what in reality here, and Kobayashi hits it, meanwhile, the US dollar is set for the worst year since 1973. Are markets that strong, or is just the US dollar crashing right now? That's how Bitcoiners have been thinking about this for a while. And I think this is how people are going to start to see this moving forward, is exactly that. It's not that, you know, our assets are going up because of productivity, etc. It's really people are losing faith in the store of value of fiat currencies, and that's really, or rather, they're debasing the currency, and that's why our assets are going up. Again, going further, they actually did a, I'm pretty sure they messed up here. It should be something unusual is happening. Silver is now up 63% in 2025. And of course, Bitcoin is going up. And all while the S&P 500 is one of its best 6 months runs in history. Like, again, what is going on here? They're destroying the currency here. And this is like the real kicker here. Shouts out to Anthony Pompliano. I saw this going around. He wasn't the first one, but I like how he put his tweet here. Everyone is bragging the S&P 500 is up more than 100% since 2020, but the index is actually down 88% when priced in a hard asset like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the hurdle rate. If you can't beat it, you have to buy it. And here's a good chart. The S&P 500 has collapsed 88% in Bitcoin terms since 2020. This is what Bitcoiners mean by the debasement trade, or Bitcoin is the hurdle rate. If you can't outperform Bitcoin, then you should just be buying Bitcoin. You should just be holding Bitcoin. This is starting to catch on, and everyone is looking at the numbers. And I think this is why we started the show, and we're starting to see that all of the institutions, all of Wall Street is pivoting right now, because they're seeing, one, of course, Saylor just kill it in returns, making what, $11 billion in the tail end of this year, and it's not even over. And everyone else is like, you know, looking at their gains at S&P 500. They're like, yeah, man, we're killing it. They're looking at the gold price. They're like, yeah, man, we're killing it. When you really price it in the new denominator, this is where things start to get a little scary if you're not a Bitcoiner. And shouts out to Sightbringer. He's been doing a great job. And this, I'm not going to read the whole tweet. You guys go find his Twitter. But he goes, gold and Bitcoin rising together is a signal. And the signal is that the denominator is collapsing. The fiat denominator is trash. And we're seeing a shift in how capital seeks refuge. When your measuring stick, aka fiat or dollars itself, is degrading. Historically, these two assets are reflexive opposites. Gold as legacy collateral, Bitcoin as emergent collateral. And when they synchronize, it means something deeper is happening. Belief itself is fleeing the yield structure. Guys, we're seeing it happen in real time. Now, of course, this isn't to go full fiat doom and like it's over tonight and Chicken Little it, but we are seeing that things are changing in real time, and seeing gold and Bitcoin rip like we're seeing. And of course, even the S&P 500 rip, silver rip, all the assets are going up. But in reality, you're starting to see that denominator, the dollar, is not in a good position. People don't want to hold it. So again, you guys have been right. Bitcoiners have been right for a long time, but now we're starting to see that the market is starting to get the right signals here. And they may be a little too late. You could argue that, but you're starting to see people are waking up to what's happening. It's no longer just Bitcoin circles, you know, theorizing about this. It's happening in real time, and they have to take notice of what's happening in Bitcoin. So I think that's what's going on with gold right now. That's what we're seeing with Bitcoin. I think Q4 is going to be Bitcoins. As we see when gold kind of stops pumping, that's when Bitcoin's going to start pumping. So I don't know, guys. This is what winning feels like. This is what winning feels like. Even though it did correct a little bit, we're at 124.7. But hey, we're winning, guys. The narrative is winning.
I just gotta say, Opti's macro game is on par,
dude. You just got to look at the right signals. Gold.
You gotta follow. You gotta follow Opti on Twitter. He's
I've been shit posting. I don't talk macro.
Dropping macro.
No, I don't.
Time.
I shit post. I just
high level macro.
No, I don't.
High level macro memes.
High level shit posting.
Macro. Follow Opti for macro memes. You want macro memes? Follow Opti.
No, I don't do macro memes. I do shit post memes.
I
might talk a little macro. But
follow Opti for the macro memes.
No, I've repivoted my account to my glory days of just pure shit posting. Sorry, shit posting, not shit coining. Pure shit posting. I just see good tweets and then I copy them and I just shit post them.
Macro memes.
No, I give the macro on the show.
At Optimus Fields.
I give the macro on the show.
On Twitter. Help Opti get to 50,000 followers.
No.
So he feels the pressure of being able to drop very good macro takes.
Nah, dude.
Follow Opti.
Yeah, sure. Optimus Fields. Hit it.
All right, everybody. Today,
I give the macro on the show. I just shit post on my Twitter. If you want some good shit posts, follow me. I'll make some levity on your timeline.
October 6th, 2025. This was SB Live. If you guys enjoyed the show, smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. And we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be here without you guys. If you guys want to support the show, check out our sponsors, especially our new sponsor, bitkey.world. 20% off using promo code simply. Get yourself a fantastic, easy to use hardware wallet at bitkey.world. Anyways, guys, we love you all. We appreciate you all. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.
Today's episode was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.